Her body was found in pieces washed up on the shore of Lake Michigan. Her head has never been found, and the man who did it drove her own car to dispose of the evidence, set it on fire, and then calmly boarded a city bus home. She was 19 years old. She was on her first date. This is the story of Sade Robinson, and it is one of the most brutal, most heartbreaking, and most important true crime stories to come out of America in recent years. Stay with me, because every detail of this story matters. But before we go any further, if you found this story, and if something made you click on it, that instinct was right, because this is what we do here. Every single week, we dig into the real crime stories from around the world, the ones that got buried in the news cycle, the ones that deserve more noise, and the ones that need to be remembered. If this is your first time here, welcome. And if you've been here before, you already know what's coming. Now listen, if this story moves you, if it shocks you, if it stays with you after it's over, please hit that like button and share it with someone. It costs you nothing, but for us, it is everything. It tells us to keep going, to keep researching, to keep showing up. And subscribing? Completely free for you. But for us, it is the reward for every late night we spend getting this right. Now, let's go back to Milwaukee, April 2024. Her full name was Sade Robinson, 19 years old, and by every account from every person who knew her, she was the kind of person who made a room feel warmer the moment she walked in. She was in her final semester at Milwaukee Area Technical College studying criminal justice. She didn't just want to live a good life. She wanted to make the world safer for other people. She was saving money. She had plans. She wanted to enlist in the Air Force. She was not a girl coasting through life. She was working 2 jobs, paying her own bills, living independently at 19 years old, while still managing to be the kind of big sister her little sister Adriana described as her hero. Her mother Sheena called her her rock. Her father Carlos said he was nothing but proud every time he talked about her. On the night of April 1st, 2024, Sade Robinson was excited. She was getting ready for a first date. She fixed herself up. She texted her friends. She was in a good mood. She had no idea she was walking into the most dangerous night of her life. His name was Maxwell Anderson, 33 years old, 6 feet 1 inch tall, a Navy veteran with a general discharge, meaning he did not complete his service honorably. He had worked in bars and restaurants for years and by outward appearances carried himself as someone who seemed to have it together. But the record told a very different story. Anderson had a criminal history stretching back to 2014. Domestic abuse, drunk driving, disorderly conduct, a 2019 assault on a stranger. And yet, he walked free. He went to bars. He met women. He smiled. The system failed to stop him, and Sade Robinson paid the price for that failure. When she met Maxwell Anderson at a bar in late March 2024, she saw a charming man. She agreed to go on a first date with him. April Fool's Day, of all the nights in the calendar year. She had no reason to be afraid. That is the cruelest part of this entire story. At 5:30 in the afternoon on April 1st, Soldier arrived at the Twisted Fisherman's seafood restaurant in Milwaukee. Security cameras caught her walking in, smiling, alive, happy. She texted a friend during the evening and said she was having a good time. Later that night, surveillance footage at a second bar showed her laughing, playing beer pong, just a young woman enjoying a night out. By around 9 p.m., they left the bar together. Soldier had a Life 360 application on her phone, a location-sharing app used by millions of people. That app tracked her movement with precision. It showed her arriving at Maxwell Anderson's home on Milwaukee's south side at approximately 9:30 p.m. At 12:45 in the morning of April 2nd, her phone pinged near his address for the last time. At 4:30 a.m., her phone went completely silent. She never texted again. She never called anyone. She simply disappeared into the dark of that Milwaukee night. The next morning, Soldier didn't show up for her shift at the pizza restaurant. Her co-workers noticed immediately. They raised the alarm. And within hours, investigators were looking for a missing 19-year-old woman whose last known location was the home of a man named Maxwell Anderson. They found her car first, a 2020 Honda Civic, parked near a train station on Milwaukee's north side. But it wasn't just parked. It had been set on fire, deliberately, burned to destroy evidence. Now here is where the investigators earned every bit of their reputation. Detective Joe Donner of the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office noticed 2 things inside that burned out car that broke the case open. First, Sade's purse was still tucked under the driver's seat. Not stolen, not taken, right there. That eliminated robbery as a motive in one observation. Second, the driver's seat had been pushed all the way back. Sade Robinson was 5 feet 3 inches tall. With the seat in that position, her feet would not have reached the pedals. Someone else had driven that car, someone significantly taller, someone approximately 6 feet 1 inch tall. Maxwell Anderson is 6 feet 1 inch tall. And then, on the evening of April 2nd, a passerby walking along the shore of Lake Michigan at Warnemont Park in Cudahy, just outside Milwaukee, noticed something in the grass near the water. Oh, Wheelie, something in the grass near the water. It was a severed human leg. Over the coming days and weeks, more remains surfaced along the lake. A torso and an arm washed up on a Lake Michigan beach on April 18th. Another arm was discovered on a beach in Waukegan, Illinois, miles away from where the first remains were found. All of it was identified as belonging to Sade Robinson, a young woman who had simply gone on a first date. Her head to this day has never been recovered. But the investigators were not done. They were building something iron tight. Surveillance footage from Warnemont Park, time-stamped at 2:53 in the morning, captured a figure dragging something heavy toward the lake. Investigators identified that figure as Maxwell Anderson. More cameras near the burned car caught him in the area. Then footage from a city bus showed him boarding with a large backpack, heading home, just like that, as if he hadn't just ended a young woman's life. And then came the digital evidence that sealed his fate. Remember Sade's Life 360 app? Investigators cross-referenced her phone location data with Anderson's phone data for the entire evening. They matched every stop, every movement, every location. He was with her. He was the last person with her. And the data was irrefutable. Then came a witness. A former girlfriend named Chloe Wright told investigators something chilling. Anderson had a special place, a location he guarded closely, almost never sharing it with anyone. He called it his secret beach, a private spot near the water. That secret beach was Warnemont Park, the exact location where Sade Robinson's remains were found. On April 4th, 2024, 2 days after Sade went missing, Maxwell Anderson was pulled over in a routine traffic stop by the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office. He was arrested. He said nothing. On April 12th, the remains were officially confirmed as Sade Robinson. Anderson was charged with first-degree intentional homicide, mutilation of a corpse, arson, and hiding a corpse. He pleaded not guilty. For over a year, Sade's family waited. They waited for justice. They waited for a courtroom to look Maxwell Anderson in the eye and hold him accountable for what he had done. In May of 2025, the trial began. Over 8 days, the jury heard from dozens of witnesses. They reviewed hundreds of photographs and hours of surveillance footage. They walked through the phone data, the Life 360 records, the camera trail, a mosaic of evidence that painted one undeniable picture. Anderson's defense team argued that the case was circumstantial. No DNA directly linking him, no confirmed cause of death, no weapon, but the evidence was overwhelming. On June 6, 2025, after just 45 minutes of deliberation, the jury returned. Guilty, 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 guilty. First-degree intentional homicide, mutilating a corpse, hiding a corpse, arson, all 4 counts, every single one. On August 1st, 2025, Maxwell Anderson stood before Milwaukee County Circuit Court Judge Laura Crivello, and before the judge said a word, the family spoke. One by one, they stood at the podium and looked the man who destroyed their world directly in the face. Sade's little sister Adriana, 17 years old at the time of sentencing, told the court that on some days, instead of going to school, she was out searching for pieces of her sister's body. 17 years old, searching for pieces of her sister. She looked at the courtroom and said that she cannot meet any new person without fear, because all her sister did was meet someone, and he stole her life. Sade's father, Carlos, told the court that he cannot put his daughter to rest because they still haven't found all of her. He said it gives him night terrors. And Sade's mother, Sheena Scarborough, looked Maxwell Anderson dead in the eye and begged him to tell her where her daughter's head was. He said nothing. Judge Crivello sentenced Maxwell Anderson to life in prison without the possibility of parole. He will die behind bars. He maintained his innocence to the very end, even as the evidence, the data, the footage, and an entire city screamed otherwise. Sade Robinson is gone, but she is not forgotten. On what would have been her 20th birthday, her family held a memorial. Her college posthumously awarded her the criminal justice degree she was just weeks away from finishing. Her little sister Adriana accepted it on her behalf. A mural now stands near the restaurant where Sade Sade worked. Her face, painted for an entire city to see. A reminder that she was real, that she mattered. And her mother, Sheena, instead of being swallowed by grief, turned her pain into purpose. She launched the Sade's Voice Foundation, fighting for stronger missing persons laws and standing up for victims who look like her daughter. Because this case also exposed a truth that cannot be ignored. Black women and girls who go missing in America consistently receive less media coverage, less urgency, and less public attention than other victims. Sheena Scarborough is spending every waking hour making sure that changes. So what do we take from this? Not fear, because fear is not what Sade Robinson deserves. What we carry with us is her spirit. A 19-year-old who worked 2 jobs, studied criminal justice, dreamed of serving in the Air Force, and texted her friends that night to say she was happy. She deserved to come home. And somewhere tonight, in cities all around the world, there are young women just like Sade, excited, trusting, full of life. Check on them, share their names when they go missing, make noise. And if this story stayed with you, if it made you feel something real, please hit that like button right now. Share this with someone. It takes 2 seconds and it keeps stories like Sade's alive. Subscribe to this channel because every single week we come back here with another real story, another real person, another truth that deserves to be told out loud. I will see you in the next one. Until then, stay safe out there. This one was for Sade.